Today we are speaking with Andrew Gamble, the chairman of the Global Board of GRATA International Association. Andrew has strong international experience and a deep understanding of cross-border legal work. Andrew, thank you very much for joining us. It's a pleasure to speak with you. In this interview, we would like to talk about GRATA International and what makes GRATA a strong international legal network. Let's start with the first question. What typically motivates firms to join GRATA International?
Thanks, Abhay, and I'm delighted to have this opportunity to talk about GRATA International. I think that's a very interesting question. And I guess the point I would pick up on initially is when you say typically, I think one of the strengths of GRATA International is that because of the way we're structured using a Swiss verein, is that we're able through that structure to enable the local officers or firms to operate independently. So in many ways, they are able to conduct their business as they've done traditionally before becoming part of GRATA, but are able to tap into all the benefits that being a member of GRATA provides. And I think that's become more, or rather the GRATA proposition has become much more persuasive over recent times, because the whole legal scene has become more challenging and more complex. And by that, I mean that the extent of regulation in virtually all jurisdictions that we participate in has increased. So the provision of legal advice has had to get more sophisticated. And that is an international phenomenon. So firms need to be sophisticated and have the tools to enable them to deal with a rapidly changing and complicated regulatory environment. And GRATA helps in that regard because though you are able to continue to manage your business locally in many ways as you did before you became part of GRATA, once you become a GRATA member, you have access to the GRATA Integration Center, and that means access to the technology that the GRATA Integration Center has been developing. I mean, we're all familiar now, of course, with AI and the opportunities that brings, and also challenges, because clients actually expect firms these days to be able to deliver legal services in a very prompt and efficient and effective way, and use AI tools where that is appropriate. And I know, for instance, that part of your team, Abhay, in the Integration Center has been working very hard on that. So in addition to the normal support services that the Integration Center supplies in terms of maintaining the email database and assisting with the marketing, we've also got this chance now to give our officers AI technology, which if they remained outside the GRATA network and an individual office, they wouldn't have the opportunity to do that, because obviously there's a cost associated with that and a development time to get it done. Whereas by becoming part of GRATA International, it's almost like plug and play, so that they immediately have access to all these tools. And linked to that, of course, is not just the fact that they have the tools to deliver the legal advice, but the fact that GRATA International, by linking all these officers together, enables them to share techniques, information about changes in the legal market, information about clients, so they have an opportunity to upskill, as it were, as well as being able to deliver those new skills in a more effective way. And additionally, and certainly no less important, is the fact that by becoming part of GRATA International, you then adopt and accept the GRATA trade name and all the marketing skills that come with that. We have a centralized marketing department, for which we must thank this interview. But they spend a lot of time developing not just the brand, but also the marketing of that brand. And again, there's a modern tech aspect to this. You know, it's not just a case of completing the returns for the legal directories, for example, important though that is. It's also a case of making sure that the name is in the forefront of clients who are searching for support in our jurisdictions, and will be using social media and other modern means of communication to do that. And the marketing team is adept at not just doing what I might describe as traditional marketing, but also using social media and targeted marketing in a way that a large modern firm does. And that's the kind of key, in a sense, that you can be a relatively small organization in a particular market. By becoming part of GRATA International, you're becoming part of a much bigger organization, and you get all the benefits that brings. And it's not just the technology when it comes to marketing. We have an international cooperation department, which includes myself, and we spend a lot of time going and visiting clients and international law firms who are, as a category, a very key client for GRATA International, and therefore doing face-to-face marketing. And of course, the fact that you are part of GRATA International means that you benefit from everything that GRATA International does wherever they are. So, for example, if we do a very good job for a client in Uzbekistan as GRATA International, then when that client is doing a job in Georgia and they're looking for a law firm to assist them, they will see that there is an office of GRATA International in Georgia. And that will encourage them to use our office in Georgia. So each office plays off the other. A success in one location is going to be a success in another. So all of these are very compelling reasons to be part of the GRATA International network.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was very insightful. So our second question: how does being a part of GRATA help firms to work on cross-border matters?
This is critical, I think, to the GRATA proposition, because obviously if you have a firm in a particular jurisdiction, they already have a practice and they already feel that they're able to cover the local work. So one of the reasons why they would want to become part of GRATA International is to give them access to cross-border work. I mean, GRATA International is what it says on the tin. It's international, and what we're looking to do is to enhance the client base of local firms and give them access to top work, which is often cross-border international work. There are therefore various aspects to the GRATA International structure that facilitate that. We've talked about the marketing in relation to your earlier question, and that obviously helps get international clients coming and using our offices. But on a technical, practical level, it does mean that in respect of cross-border work, and we have a number of examples of this, you are often having to use law firms in other jurisdictions and often neighboring jurisdictions. And the way in which the GRATA membership is spread across Central Asia and the Caucasus, as well as other jurisdictions, means that you are able to coordinate and implement a cross-border transaction in conjunction with your colleagues in other GRATA offices. And the advantage of that is that you're dealing with people who you've dealt with before, so they're trusted partners, that you're part of GRATA, you have a format and approach to dealing with work which is common for the firm, and that is actually something that international clients very much appreciate and applaud. And the coordination aspect is really important for international clients as well, because they can feel confident that when they engage one GRATA office and they have to use other jurisdictions, they can rely on their first point of contact to help coordinate the transaction and provide a coherent and consistent set of legal advice at a level of quality. And quality, of course, is critical in the supply of all of our services. And the GRATA International Network, we we not only have centralized provision of the kind of services we talked about before in the shape of AI, maintaining the databases generally for the firm, dealing with the email and problems that might arise with our methods of communication. But we ensure that we have practice areas and groups who have representatives from each of the offices, who meet on a regular basis, share know-how, and also share standards and approach, so that the whole quality of the legal advice provided across the network raises to the best level possible and is delivered in a consistent format, which, as I say, is something that is critical to clients. So all of those things, I think, are of assistance in terms of both securing the cross-border work, which, as I say, the marketing is very important in relation to that, but ensuring that when we get the work, it is performed to the highest and most effective standards. And as we discussed, the effective performance of a job in one jurisdiction reflects back on the brand, and then will have an accelerator effect in terms of getting more work coming into the network. So it becomes a virtuous circle in terms of generating additional work for all of the officers in the network. And we see that operating particularly on what I might describe as a sub-regional basis. So though we have officers stretching all the way from Eastern Europe right through to Southeast Asia and the Chinese Pacific seaboard, we see a lot of activity within the sub-regions, whether it be the ASEAN region or whether it be the Caucasus. So, for example, there's a lot of cross-border referral work and joint projects being done between our offices in Azerbaijan, in Georgia, in Armenia, and in Turkey. And we obviously have a lot of cross-border work amongst a cluster of offices in Central Asia as well. So all of these things move towards this, what I describe as a virtuous circle, that once you start getting this cross-border work, there are various things around that encourage more clients to come in and get us to do work for them in the region because of the reputation that we've built up.
Next question. In your opinion, what makes GRATA different from other international legal networks?
The answer to that actually is very simple. We're not a legal network. So we're not going to be similar to other legal networks. And I think this is a misconception about GRATA sometimes, that it's like a number of other legal networks that one sees in the global legal scene, which are really just best friends connections, if I could put it like that. In other words, they share clients and information as and when it's appropriate and it suits them. They don't have a distinct and combined branding that we have. They don't have a common email system. They're not plugging into the kind of shared technologies that we're developing, particularly in the AI space. They don't have a coherent marketing strategy, whether in terms of marketing through like our international cooperation department, where we go around and make business trips, or effective use of social media. They're a radically different beast. And we have common brand, common technology, common marketing, common standards in terms of the way in which we present our advice to our clients. So in all of those respects, we are more akin to an international, fully integrated international law firm, with the important distinction that the way in which we operate the accounting and the HR issues within a particular jurisdiction are handled by the local management. So it means that the local local management have a lot of the discretions in terms of who they bring on and promote as partners, and how they manage their business internally, but at the same time get all the advantages of being part of what is, to all intents and purposes, an international law firm. So as I say, very simple answer, we're not an international legal network, we are an international law firm. I mean, we actually have an international legal network as an adjunct to GRATA International, in the sense that we have spent a lot of time producing what we describe as our VLD, or Verified Lawyer Database, whereby we have reached out to law firms throughout the world. So not just in the areas where we currently have offices, but throughout the globe, in order to identify and make contact with the best local law firms in those jurisdictions. So those law firms don't become members of GRATA International, they're not branded as GRATA, but we have a database and a series of connections and working relationships with those firms. So we are able to provide our clients not only with all the benefits of working with GRATA International, but where their international work is such that it extends beyond the region where we have GRATA International offices, we are in a position to give them that international network benefit through our contacts with lawyers in those jurisdictions, on account of the way in which we have built up and maintained our Verified Lawyer Database.
Andrew, thank you very much for your time and for insights. It was very interesting to hear your perspective on GRATA International Association. Thank you.
My pleasure. Well, hopefully a number of people have been looking at this video interview and have found it of interest. Certainly, if you are not a member of GRATA International at the moment, I would encourage you to consider that. If you look at the website and our adverts in relation to GRATA International, you will see details whereby you can get in touch with us, and our team will take you through the various procedures and processes, and highlight once again the benefits of being part of GRATA International, which I've tried to convey during this short interview with Abe. Thank you very much. Looking forward to make your personal acquaintance when you become a member of GRATA International. Join now.